If you're thinking about moving to Bellingham, Washington, this video is for you. Hey there, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, I'm gonna break down 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Bellingham, Washington. I'm Dani, local Bellingham expert, real estate agent, mom on the go, and more. So as always, if you like this video, I'd love it if you would like, subscribe. You can stay up to date when I drop new videos about living in Bellingham, Washington. And as always, as you're watching this video, you might want to talk to me. So go ahead, pause the video at any time, scroll down, all my contact info is below, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get into the video. Pros and cons of living in Bellingham, Washington. We are going to start out with the pros. So here are 5 pros of living in Bellingham, Washington. Number 1, I talk about this in most of my videos, especially if it's looking at Bellingham, Washington in a positive light. Number 1 pro of living here is the scenic beauty and the outdoor activities. So there's so much to do here. You just need the right gear, especially if you want to be outside during the rainy time. You absolutely can. You can be outside year round here in Bellingham. I think we live for the summers here in Bellingham. Our summers are beautiful. Falls are beautiful, spring is beautiful, and then winter, when it does get really gray and rainy, if you ski or snowboard, you have Mount Baker. So there's always something to do here outdoors in Bellingham. Number 2 pro is the mild climate. I love this about Bellingham. It might not appeal to everybody, but every single season, I would honestly describe it as just generally being mild. In our summers, we're in the mid 70s, upper 70s, low 80s. Sometimes we get into the upper 80s and 90s. We call that a heat wave. Maybe it gets into the hundreds for, I don't know, maybe 5 days in the summer, but overall it's really mild. You could be outside all day, every day in the summer. It's sunny, it's beautiful, love it. Springs and falls, also really mild. We're hanging out in the 50s, low upper 40s. Maybe we'll get some 60s in the spring and summer. Winter, it is mild. Maybe we get a week or 2 of snow, but for the most part, it's gray, it's rainy. If you want that snow, you drive out to Mount Baker, you drive east, you go to the Cascades, and you find all that snow. Number 3 pro is education. So not only do we have great elementary, middle schools, and high schools, but this is a college town. So there's a university. Western Washington University is in Bellingham. Not only that, we have a great community college. We have a great technical college. So you could live in Bellingham and have access to all sorts of great education, which is huge plus. Number 4 pro of Bellingham is our strong sense of community and active community events. So if you're looking to connect, if you move here especially, and you want to make friends or want to make friends with your kids, there's so many community events here in Bellingham, and we have access to them. You show up, everybody's friendly. It's a really welcoming community. Number 5 pro of living in Bellingham, this is one of my favorites. So I moved here. I was a city girl pretty much most of my life, but I always wanted to find someplace like Bellingham where it has everything that you need, but there's no traffic. So we have no traffic, but we have access to Vancouver, Canada, which has become one of my favorite cities, and then Seattle, Washington. So you have access to the culture, the arts, all the things that those big cities have to offer. And then you come home into Bellingham, and then you have no traffic. We have that low-key lifestyle. So access to Vancouver, Canada, and Seattle, Washington. 2 beautiful and amazing cities within an hour and an hour and a half drive, depending on the border weight and traffic. All right, so let's get into the cons of living in Bellingham, Washington. As much as I love living here, no place is perfect, and we have our cons. Number 1 con of Bellingham is the rain and the clouds. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's really what we're known for. I'm sure you've heard of that in Seattle, but it's really cloudy here. It's cloudy, but it's mild. So if you have the right gear, raincoats, rain pants, all those things, you can still be outside even though it's rainy. My tip for the rain and the cloud is to take little vacations in January or February, or learn to ski, learn to snowboard, and there's always something for you to do here despite the rain and the clouds. Number 2 con is unfortunately the higher cost of living. There's no denying it. Our housing prices are expensive. Groceries are expensive. We live on the West Coast, so our gas prices are a little bit more expensive, especially if you're coming from the Midwest or the East Coast. Perk, we have no income tax, so that kind of sets that off a little bit. It's just higher cost of living here. Number 3 con is the lack of entertainment. Now I'm comparing this to a city. I come from Chicago, from Seattle. I've been living in Bellingham for 15 years, and there really isn't as many things to do, especially nightlife wise. But if you're looking for it, you can always find something to do here. It's just not going to be on that big scale. You're going to have to travel a little bit more if you want to go to the big name concerts, big sporting events, things like that. Number 4 con is the limited and lack of cultural diversity. Now, we do have some good cultural foods, Indian food, Mexican food, Thai food, all of those things. But to be perfectly frank and honest with you, it's nothing like a big city. You're just not going to find that here. Number 5 con of living in Bellingham is our limited healthcare services. So if you're living in Bellingham, yes, we have hospitals, we've got great doctors, we have great doctors' offices. But if you need specialties, you're gonna have to travel down to Bellingham or Seattle, where they have the top-notch, highest rated medical specialties and facilities. So even though we don't have that here in Bellingham, we do have a hospital. Again, we have great doctors here, but if you're looking for those specialties, you are going to have to travel a little bit further down south. All right, there you have it. We have 5 cons and 5 pros of living in Bellingham, Washington. As always, please reach out to me if you want to talk about moving to Bellingham. I love meeting people from out of town. I love helping you guys relocate. No matter what your time frame is, give me a call. I can answer any questions that you have. Scroll down. All my contact info is below. And as always, thank you so much for being here and so much for watching.